So here's a fun fact. I was doing a video conference with the folks at Robkoo, and they told me something very interesting, that the R1 is best-selling amongst the seniors. And you think about that, perhaps some of them were horn players or, wind players, and now it takes a little bit more breath out of you to get it out of the acoustic instruments, but it's actually not so difficult to play this. You can play a long note out of this. It's very light, and I think you can have many hours, pain-free hours with this for the seniors. I mean, obviously, it's not just a seniors instrument. It's an instrument that can be used amongst many people. But I thought it was really interesting that the seniors were buying this. So that's a cool fact. That aside, let's talk about settings in this video and how we navigate the settings on the R1. So let's have a close-up view. So the secret to accessing your settings in the R1 lies in these two buttons. The bottom button is called the function button, and the top button is called the magic button. When you press the two, you find that things happen on your display. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pressing the bottom first, hold it, and then I'll press the top, and this is what happens. We get access to your volume. If I press the bottom button again, the function button, I will get out again. All right, so I'll get to the where I can move using these levers. What I can do is I can move the sounds, the patches, right? I think you remember that one. So what I'm going to be doing again is I'm going to be pressing the function button followed by the magic button, and here we get access to the volume. Now, if I want to access, let me just scroll through this to show us the different things that we have accessible in the settings. Okay, so we have volume, so we can control the volume, the level of volume. We can control the reverb, the level of reverb, the transposition, which is the key that the R1 is playing to, and then the advanced settings, and we can look at it later on, and then the system settings. So let's get into the volume, and I'm going to be selecting volume, and so I'm going to press this, and here we have the volume. So with these levers, it's a plus minus levers. What I can do is I can cycle through. So my volume levels right now are going higher, and until it goes to 0. And then I can just continue the cycle. I can cycle downward by pressing this. So you can see I'm pressing the bottom button, and I'm cycling down. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it at 5. I'm going to press the top button, which will save this. I've just pressed it, so I've just saved it. Now I'm going to press this again, and I'm going to cycle through the next item on the next item of the menu for settings, and that's going to be reverb. Again, I press this button to access reverb, and here I'm at number 2. Again, I press the lever, and I can cycle through. If I'm happy with that, I think the higher the number, the greater the intensity. So I'm going to press this and save the reverb at 4. And now I'm going to, again, cycle through this, and the next item will be the transpose. Okay, so I've just selected, so I'm in the key of F right now. And again, I move around. I think there are 12 keys that you can select together with the sharps and, and the flats. Okay, so this is okay. I'm going to keep it at F and just save it over here, as you can see. Press this, save, and then I'm going to move through the next one, which is advanced. When I get to advanced, I get the patch banks. If I press the select, I have the factory as well as, I have the factory as well as user patches. And then I'm going to save that to factory, and I'm going to move on to the next, which is octave shift. So if I want to select that, I can shift this, up the octaves and down the octaves, so that I can, play a particular key in a particular octave. So I'm going to keep it back at 0, press a save, and move on to the magic button. So I think with the magic button, what you can do is you can assign different things onto your magic button. I'm really not too much of an expert in this, but let me just see what we can do. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, then there's the key plus, the key minus, the pitch bend wheel, which is this particular thing here. Okay, this is the pitch bend wheel. And let's just move on. What else do we have? We have motion control. Now, motion control is interesting because when you move your R1, if you angle it a particular way, you can activate certain sort of things. So I'm going to press this button over here to see what it opens up to. So I've got here as vibrato. But you can choose to turn it off. You can choose sound to. I'm not quite sure what sound to. I think it's a particular effect that is applied to your sound. So for example, if you're in trumpet, if you choose sound 1, it gives you a certain effect. Sound 2, maybe growl or something like that. It does something to your patch. Your pitch bend, again, the intensity of your pitch bend, let me see what else we have. The motion angle, the port time, the pitch bend range, your MIDI channel. Now, I think most of us wind controller players would select 2, and hence I'm not changing it. Then your note on velocity. I'm really not quite sure what these things are. Your master tuning, I guess you are, I think some people play it at 441 in certain situations, but 440 is fine for me. And then your fingering. Yeah. Okay, so we have 3 fingerings right now. The 笛子. Now, the 笛子 is a Chinese horizontal flute. So you play it this way, like that. And so that's your fingering mode. Sorry, let me just press that again. Your 笛子, and then your saxophone. So the 笛子 is actually a 6-hole flute. Very similar to the Irish tin whistle fingering. You have your saxophone and your hulusi. So there's only 3 onboard fingerings, your 笛子, and your saxophone, which I think is very similar to the recorder fingering. And then you have your hulusi. Okay, I'm going to save that and move on to breath curve. And I think there are 4 breath curves that you can select. In the app, the Jamku app actually shows you the type of curves these are. And in the next video, I will feature that. So I'm going to just save this. And then we have your breath sensitivity, your key sensitivity, and then we're back to the patch bank. So that's what we have for advanced settings. If you remember these levers, what we can do is we can cycle through the different settings options. And so we were at advanced. I've just shown us advanced. Let's just go through the last one, which is system. So again, I'm going to press the magic button, and we have access to the sub menus within the system settings. Okay, so we have BLE MIDI, we have the light fix functions, we have the auto power on or off, we have the display sleep, we have the language, and then we have the factory reset, and then the version information. So the BLE, again, if you press here, you get the option to turn it on or off. Let me save this, and then the light function is really interesting. Not my cup of tea, but maybe some people like it. If you select that, I have it as off right now, but if you select FX1, you get the different lights coming up. Okay, now I'm pressing FX2, and I think it's probably a different light effect that you get. Okay, and you can customize it too. Again, really not my cup of tea, so I've turned it off. And Hey, and let me just cycle through again. Let me save it as off, and then the auto power on. Here I've got it as 30 minutes, and there are different options that you can choose. 60, never, 5 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm gonna save it, and then move on to the next one, which is display sleep. Again, you can turn it on or off. And then we have the language. So you can choose English, or this is Chinese. And I'm just gonna go back to English. And then we can move to the factory reset. I'm not even gonna try that. And this is the version information, your firmware version information. So I'm at, I think I'm at 1.3b for this particular one. They just upgraded me. So yeah, that's pretty much the systems and the settings that we have for the R1. So there's one last surprise I want to leave us with. So far, I've been playing the R1 with this particular mouthpiece, which comes with the kit. But they also sent a mouthpiece which looks like that. And with this, it allows you to play the R1 a bit like a flute, which is, like the Chinese dizi or the Irish flute. And again, your fingerings, how you want to set your fingerings is really up to you. So I'm going to end this video by playing this particular instrument in a flute way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a third video that I'm going to be doing, which is going to feature the Robkoo app.